Hey, what's up? It's amber.corrine and you're watching Young Atlas. So I am a young freelance journalist, plus I also interview artists as well as public figures and just anyone that I find interesting. I try to, tell their stories, help share their stories. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, cool. And how long have you been working in media?
So I've been working in media overall, I would say a little over 4 years. Not just as on platforms, but also with my own platform. I've been doing it a little bit about, I would say 4 years.
Okay, cool. So you have like a YouTube channel and all that stuff
Yeah,
that
I
you
do.
interview
Actually,
artists?
I do have a YouTube channel. Everyone can follow me at amber.corrine, and it's fairly new, but I'm trying to build my content on there. So, the more subscribers, the better.
Okay, so who do you interview? Is it like hip hop artists usually or
I do.
influencers?
Well, at this time, I'm kind of doing mostly hip hop artists, but on my platform, Backstage Chat, I actually interview all kinds of public figures. Like I've talked to rape victims before. I've interviewed some rappers. Just people who I feel that are they have interesting stories and they need to be told. I try to focus on everybody, and I don't want people to get it confused. Being that I write for hip hop platforms and I've written for some other ones in the past, I don't want anyone to get it confused that all I do is music artists, because I have more insight that I can give people with various topics, not just hip hop. But currently I'm getting paid to be a writer for hip hop artists.
Okay,
So.
cool. That's what's up. And so like what are some of the hip hop like brands and like labels you've worked with so far?
Some of the hip hop brands and labels I've worked with, in the beginning, I started working for this hip hop platform called aboveaveragehiphop.com. And then from there, I went on to write for Hot 97's The New Movement. That's with DJ Drewski. From there, I went on to write for Hip Hop Since 1987. I also wrote for a very brief time for the feature presentation. That's with DJ Sus One. And then now I'm at Hip Hop DX. Yes.
Cool, that's dope. I love Hip Hop DX. So how did you get that? Did it start off as like an internship or?
It's kind of funny because one of my mentors, I call him my mentor, Riley Wallace, he's actually the owner of Above Average Hip Hop. So when I was in college, he kind of gave me an internship to write for him, and he was also writing for Hip Hop DX. So I guess somehow or another, I saw that Hip Hop DX was having an opening for an internship, and I knew Riley, so Riley was kind of like, you need to apply for this. And it actually took a year and some change, and then finally they got back to me, and I became a writer for them. So shout outs to Riley.
Okay, cool. So who are some of like the other behind the scenes people you look up to that make things happen in hip hop and
Well, behind the scenes or just anybody?
behind the scenes?
Okay, behind the scenes. I don't know if we can really consider them behind the scenes anymore because they're kind of out in the open now. But definitely a Scotty Beam, that's definitely a big inspiration to me. Who else? I can't even think of his name right now. Oh, Rob Markman, him. Just even some of the, not just with writers and bloggers and whatnot, but even some of the socialites like Angela Simmons. She's a big inspiration to me. I look at people like, who else? Gia Peppers. A lot of the black girls that's doing it right now in media, I look up to a lot of them, and I don't want to do exactly what they're doing, but I do look at their blueprint and kind of learn from it and make it my own to kind of gear me in the right direction for my own career.
That's cool. So what would be the like the end game for you? Like, do you want a show? Do you want to be the next Oprah? What's up?
The end game for me would definitely be my own show. Hopefully most likely it would probably be online, because I feel like now everything's kind of digital. Many of us don't even watch TV no more. So I would hope for like a pop-in show of my Backstage Chat on, YouTube or any kind of digital platform where just people are watching it. That's like the end game for me. If that didn't happen, I would like to be on TV as the host of a show, a correspondent, just one of those big media people out there where everywhere you go, you see them and they're just working. That's who I want to be.
And would these shows be hip hop based? Or?
When it comes to my own show, I don't want it to be hip hop based. Being that, like I said, I started off as a music artist. Of course, I will always try to incorporate music some kind of way because that's my passion. But I'm also passionate about other things like beauty, lifestyle, finance, self-care. Like those are things that I'm passionate about. So my show would definitely have to cover those topics as well, and not just hip hop. I'm an R&B lover. Like I like R&B more than I like hip hop. So, I would definitely have to incorporate all of those passions into that.
What are some like tips for like other upcoming journalists to like get in the game?
Number one, I would have to say that yes, we're journalists. We sit behind a screen all day. We write, but we have to get from behind that screen and actually show face. Make sure that you're showing up to events. People who you promise that you'll be there for and you'll show up, to cover their events. Make sure that you go. Like, it's not about just sitting behind a computer and writing. Like, people need to know who you are. They need to know what you look like. And honestly, I feel like you build more genuine relationships that way, and you kind of have longevity with relationships in that way when you actually meet in person. So as a journalist, I definitely say, don't just be stuck behind the computer. Get out there, show your face, and make genuine connections with people. Network.
So what do you think about some of like the responsibilities for like journalists these days? The journalists are very like such a commodity right now because there's so much power in what they do.
Our responsibilities, we're definitely expected to tell the truth and kind of sometimes be unfiltered, but in a way still be ethical. Definitely it's our job to get those stories heard that are not being covered. Even though sometimes you have some journalists who do a lot of clickbait and whatnot. Of course, that's like a big thing, especially on YouTube, but it's important to make sure that you're telling the story and you're telling it right, and not focusing so much on the the clickbait aspect of it, just getting someone to look at your story, or but actually engaging them and having them, after I read a story, I want to make sure that I learned something. I want to make sure that, I didn't just waste my time reading something because the title caught me. I want to learn something.
I hate that.
I
hate that. Do you have like any examples of where like you learned that like, wow, like what I do is like really, really powerful and important? Like, did you have any like crazy media storms, or like have you witnessed any like in your hip hop DX?
Honestly,
brotherhood?
I would say, okay.
I definitely say something like when I was in Vibe, there was definitely motherfuckers doing some bullshit ass articles, and I was like,
okay, like you already know. I honestly haven't. I feel like I haven't experienced that, but I can say one of the wow factors has been that I've been able to talk to some people who I never thought I'd be able to talk to. I've been able to be a part of some events and just be in different spaces that I thought I would never be in. So that's been like the great aspect of it. And just when somebody like reposts my story, like that I wrote about them, they just tell me, thank you. Like, you don't know how much this meant to me. This was a great story, dope read. Like, it's kind of like surreal to me, because at the end of the day, I'm just doing something that I'm passionate about, and somebody looks at that and sees it as more than what I see it as. So, that's always like the rewarding part of it that I love the most.
What are some of like your favorite like experiences so far? Like some people that you met doing this?
Definitely, hands down, one of my favorite experiences was being a part of Something in the Water Festival with Pharrell.
Yeah, I
like
wanted to go there so bad. I'm jealous.
That was crazy. And honestly, like, I felt that, I have to shout out Hip Hop DX once again, because without them, I don't think I would have been able to be a part of that as media. Like, either way, I was going to buy a ticket to go, but as media, that was great, a great experience. Just being around Pharrell, like literally being 2 feet from him, that was awesome. I met Trinidad James. I met Janae Aiko. I saw Chris Brown. I saw Jay-Z. Like, that's my first time ever seeing him. So that was like a really crazy experience for me. And just being able to be there and know that I have a reason to be there. And I felt important, like I did. So that felt good, being a part of that.
So, so what are some tips for like artists, like rappers, that you think?
As far as
to get like exposure in New York, or like just to just get some type of buzz.
Okay, so I would say definitely you have to, even though a lot of artists have managers, they have people behind them, you have to be able to put in work yourself. Like, you can't expect somebody to do everything for you. Yeah, you might be the best rapper in the world, but if you don't have any work ethic behind it, and you don't have any kind of drive behind it, then I kind of feel like you're doing yourself a disservice. So I think for rappers, it's especially important that you kind of work for yourself in a way. Yes, you can still have a team, but nobody should go harder for your dream than you do. Like, you get what I'm saying? So also when it comes to like just trying to be on blogs and whatnot, learn how to send an email, at the end of the day, just because you talk a certain way, everybody's not going to respond the same way that, you talk to people. So I would say with that, just be, what's the word? Be respectful, be professional in a way. And if you don't know how to send an email, find somebody who does. I would say that. I can't tell you how many DMs I get where it's just a link and it says, check me out. Or just, listen to my music. Oh, go tag me under this. And it's like, I don't even know who you are. You're not introducing yourself. Like, I'll get DMs. It's just check me out. That's it. So I would say just be mindful of how you're approaching people. And, usually the ones who come respectful and they come with a lot of information and I know why you're reaching out to me, those are the ones who usually get a response.
Who are some artists that New York should look out for, or just people in general should look out for?
Does it matter if they're like anybody, or do you want like more upcoming? Yeah. Ooh, I wish you would have asked. Like, if I was on this show like a couple months ago, literally, I'm for all the femcs right now, all the female rappers. I'm standing for all of them right now. So I would just say, just keep your eye out for like people like Tiara Whack, who's already making noise, but I feel like she hasn't gotten that mainstream love yet. So I think somebody like her, she's coming, and when she blows, she's gonna blow like crazy. Who else? Just shout out to all the upcoming rappers, the ones that's out here working and not just copying everything they see and do just to make it. I just say shout out to all of them. I can't really single anybody out right now, but just all the female rappers, I'm for you guys right now. You girls right now.
If you had $10,000 and you had to spend it in New York City in one day.
In New York City?
Yeah.
Ooh.
How would you spend that? Oh no, you're from.
Yeah, I'm from Jersey.
You're from Jersey, yeah, duh. What are you going to spend $10,000 on in Jersey?
I probably would come to New York. That's the funny part. But if I had $10,000 right now in my life,
you have to blow it in one day.
I have to blow it.
Nothing responsible.
Nothing responsible?
No.
I'm such a responsible person though. So I guess this is like, I can give like a ratchet answer.
Yes, of course. Yo, this question is designed for
because like $10,000 you can't get like probably the car of your dreams. That's probably like a down payment on the car of your dreams. I would probably just buy like some of the designer stuff. I know it's probably sounds bad. Some of the designer stuff that I don't have, like stuff that I would love to have, but I wouldn't spend my own money on it.
You got the Off-White. You got the Virgil.
Yeah, don't ask me about that. But probably just like some of the brands that I really, really like. Off-White is definitely one that I'm into right now. That's my second Off-White piece. I don't plan on buying anything else because it's kind of pricey. But probably that, and I probably just, you said nothing responsible. I don't do anything that's like not responsible.
You gotta come up.
It probably just go towards like clothes and stuff.
Just clothes, Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, material stuff, which sounds really bad, but you asked me that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's that.
All right, cool. Thank you for sitting down with us. Let us know where they can find you on Instagram, YouTube.
Okay, so you can follow me. Okay. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at amber.corrine. You can follow me on YouTube at amber.corrine. If you search amber.corrine on YouTube, I should pop up. On Twitter, I am @corrine_, and also I have a website, amber.corrine.com. You can find some of my other type of editorials and write-ups on there about beauty. The day I was an extra for Kanye, all kinds of stories like that are on there.
Time out. Let's go back.
Okay.
The day you was an extra for Kanye, what happened?
Okay, so
what video was this for?
It wasn't for a video. It was for his Yeezy season 5 or 6 at the Madison Square Garden.
Oh wow!
You
were walking.
I was just an extra, like literally just an extra. But
you had like the tan joints on.
Yeah. That's a whole other story. Like that's why I said you need to read that right up because it's really crazy. But anyway, like literally at one point I was trying to be an extra for all these shows like TRL, Wildin' Out. I was trying to be an extra. Right. So I came across this thing for Kanye and I applied and I was like, wow, they picked me or whatever. So. The way the description was like, you guys are going to be taken to get dressed. You're going to do, come in with your natural hair. We're going to take care of you. So we get there, it was cool. They just gave us coconut oil to put on our face. We had on like these crazy looking clothes, and we were told to stand still. You know, don't make eye contact with any of the celebrities that you see. It was wild. Like, it was really
Sounds like
wild.
a
Like,
cult.
we were there for hours, like hours, hours. But I met Kanye though. That was cool. So
That's dope.
yeah, that was dope.
Did you get some free Yeezys?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, all
Kanye, you owe
It's
me
been a
some
great
Yeezys.
day, Young Alice.